Justin Bieber made a highly anticipated return to the stage this weekend at Coachella, headlining Saturday night's event with a performance that was both nostalgic and interactive. Dressed casually in a hoodie and shorts, Bieber entertained the crowd by playing his early hits alongside clips from YouTube videos and home movies from when he was a teenager. The star interacted directly with live comments streaming on YouTube during his set. This adds a unique layer to what was already an emotional night for fans. Musical guests like the Kid Laroi and Wizkid joined Bieber on stage, contributing to the evening's musical highlights at Indio's Empire Polo Club in California. Bieber's appearance marked a significant comeback after canceling his world tour due to health issues in 2022. This year's Coachella drew over 100,000 people daily, showcasing one of the biggest events in music and culture that continues to attract large audiences every spring. The latest data reveals a significant decline in drug overdose deaths across the United States, with figures dropping sharply over recent months. However, health experts are sounding the alarm about new synthetic street drugs that pose an emerging threat to public health. Experts warn these new substances are rapidly spreading throughout various regions of the country, complicating efforts to curb rising addiction rates and overdoses in the future. The trend shows a need for adaptive strategies from public health officials as they work to address this evolving drug landscape. Background information indicates that while overdose deaths have decreased recently, concerns remain about the rapid emergence of these new synthetic drugs, which could potentially reverse current positive trends if not properly managed by healthcare providers and law enforcement agencies. With the situation ongoing, public health officials continue to monitor both the decline in overall overdose fatalities and the rise of dangerous synthetic substances. The immediate next step involves developing comprehensive strategies that can effectively counteract this new challenge while maintaining progress made against drug-related deaths. CURRENTF SCTP SCK Authoritative U.S. President Donald Trump, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche, U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Markwayne Mullin, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson, U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. ENDCURRENTF SCTP SCK First Lady Melania Trump has called for a congressional hearing to address actions related to the legacy of Jeffrey Epstein. The statement, made on Thursday, highlights ongoing concerns about oversight and accountability in cases involving high-profile individuals. Survivors of Epstein's abuse have reacted with mixed feelings to the First Lady's call. Some survivors see this as an important step toward justice, emphasizing the need for public discussion and investigation into the matter. However, others are skeptical about the timing and effectiveness of such a move, questioning whether it will truly bring closure or meaningful action. This statement comes after recent scrutiny regarding Epstein's past associations with various high-profile figures. The call for a congressional hearing underscores efforts to address concerns over oversight and accountability within the context of Epstein's case and its broader implications. The next step involves Congress considering how to respond to the First Lady's call, potentially impacting ongoing investigations into Epstein's connections to high-profile individuals. END of Minnesota state authorities have filed a lawsuit against the federal government, alleging that evidence related to fatal shootings by immigration agents was withheld. The case centers on the deaths of U.S. citizens Alex Preddy and Renee Macklin-Good in Minneapolis. The suit also addresses a non-fatal shooting incident involving a Venezuelan man that occurred alongside the deadly incidents. Minnesota officials argue this demonstrates systemic issues with federal investigations into ICE activities. This legal action comes months after the shootings, which have drawn significant public scrutiny over immigration enforcement practices. The lawsuit highlights ongoing tensions between state and federal authorities regarding these matters. The case underscores potential roadblocks in federal probes of ICE-related fatalities. This emphasizes concerns about transparency and accountability in handling such incidents. CURRENTFSCTPSCK Authoritative U.S. President Donald Trump, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche, U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Markwayne Mullin, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio ENDCURRENTFSCTPSCK